everybody and welcome to Ed's Boat. Right, before we get started, I just want to say we've hit 3,000 subscribers. Now, when I started this channel, it was more of a record for me as anybody else, and it just sort of took off, and I never ever thought we would get to 3,000. So a big thank you to everybody involved. Right, in the last episode, well, it was cold and snowy and horrible. But in this episode, well, the sun's come out a bit, and hopefully, you know, the work will start moving on a little bit quicker. Now, what I want to do is answer some of your questions about a couple of previous videos and one or two other issues that have come up as well. But before all that, and before all the snow started and all this sort of cold weather moved in from Russia, a couple of friends visited me that I work with. They visited me at the marina, and one of them, Ryan, brought his drone along and said, can I bring it along, try it out, test it, and take some video footage of your boat? And I said, of course you can, why not? It'd be a brilliant idea. So that's what happened, and it also answers one of the questions from much earlier on in an episode that I did of how do I park the boat. So it will be featuring parking the boat in the marina and what's involved in that as well. So without further ado, let's get over and have a look at this drone. I'm joined by Ryan and Ashley, two lads I work with, and Ryan's brought his drone along. He's trying to review that for his own YouTube channel, which he's about to launch soon. And you can hear the drone getting closer. It's really close to us now. And he's going to get some nice footage of the canal and the countryside for us, which we can use. And if I can pan round, I'll see if I can see the drone. And there it is. And it's a tiny little thing, really. It's ever so responsive, and it's not that loud, really. Well, I don't pretend to know anything about these drones, but we've just had a quick test of this one, and they really are impressive. I mean, I don't know anything about its capabilities and whatever. I'll leave that for Ryan when he launches his YouTube channel to review it, but that's a close-up of it anyway, and it is remarkably good how it works.
I wonder what you got, you rascal, you. I wonder what you got, you rascal, you. I wonder what you got, makes my wife think you so hot. And I wonder what you got, you rascal, you. And I wonder what you got, you rascal, you. I'm gonna cut your ears off to you, rascal. I'm gonna cut your ears off to you, rascal, you. I'm gonna cut your ears off too, and something else that belongs to you. I'm gonna cut your ears off to you, rascal, you. I'll be glad when you're dead, you rascal, you. I'll be glad when you're dead, you rascal, you. Now don't think I'm telling a story, cause if I don't see this glory, I'll be glad when you're gone, you rascal, you.
hope you enjoyed that footage from the drone and a nice engine day, as I call it, where I take the boat out and just get all around it. So a big thank you to Ashley and Ryan, especially Ryan, for bringing the drone down and giving me that film footage. Thank you very much. Right, as I mentioned earlier, a few questions and comments have come up which I didn't really want to answer in comments because it's just way too much typing away. I thought I'd just wait for an episode to come along and then answer your questions, particularly the episode where we saw the canal boat smashed up and scrap that had been abandoned. And a lot of people have asked, does the registered keeper not have to pay for the removal? Well, yes, they are liable and they are responsible for it. Unfortunately, sometimes it's very, very difficult to find these owners. They slip off the system somewhere. They acquired the boat one way or another, and there's not much of a paper trail for them, or they just disappear, or they haven't got any money, or whatever. You know, there's many reasons why they won't pay for it, and the Canal River Trust, just to make sure the canals are free, have to do it for them. And of course, yes, they try and claim that money back, but it doesn't always work out that way. Many of you asked, where do the boats go and can you buy them? The boats go to designated yards up and down the country. There's no one yard. I guess it's regional. Certain regions go to one yard, certain regions go to another one. And the Canal and River Trust are very, very secretive about what goes where. They don't really want you to know until the boat has been dealt with. What I mean by dealt with is any outstanding issues, legal things, whatever. It is held at these boat yards, and when it's ready to be sort of sold on, it is sold on. Now, I'm not sure how that works. It might go to that boatyard and they sell it on. They might do it directly. I personally have not seen any websites with them on, and other people have looked for them and they can't find them. But what I'll do is, if I ever run into the CRT guys again, I will just quickly ask them a bit more detail about how it works, just for your interest. Right, P. Arjakpar, sorry about pronunciation, some of these YouTube names are very, very difficult, asks, what is a boat licence and can you claim salvage rights? Well, a boat licence is a fee that you pay. It's like a tax fee, if you like, the equivalent of road fund licence for cars. On the boats, you pay a boat licence. It is based on the size of your boat, and there's other little issues as well on the price, whether it's a powered boat or it's a butty that's towed along. That affects all the different prices, but basically you have to pay a fee to use the canals, and if you don't pay that fee, well, the canals can't be maintained or run properly. I mean, we wouldn't have them if it wasn't for these boat licence fees. Now, I'm not saying I agree with how much they are and what they spend their money on, but that's the way it is. You know, you have to pay to be on the canals. And if you don't pay, well, you've got no right to be on them, and they will remove your boat. And can you claim salvage rights on the canals? No, not as far as I know. I have heard of people finding boats that are allegedly abandoned or even sunk, finding the registration number off it, contacting the owners directly, buying it and taking it on. I don't know whether they inherit any debts owed on that boat or not, but I have heard of that happening. But no, you don't get salvage rights. It's as simple as that. Right, Steve G, in a more morbid way, has asked, have they ever found an abandoned boat where somebody has passed away on it? Now, I've not heard of that, but I'm sure it has happened in the past, and it probably will happen again. There are a lot of people living on their own on boats, and they might have accidents. There's a lot of old people live on the boats, and yes, they might well pass away. I'm sure it has happened. I haven't heard of it, and it's something that's not very common. Let's move on to some more cheerful questions. Right, C's DeVos has asked, how often do you need to clean the chimney? Well, that's a good question. Most boaters clean their chimney at least once a year. There's not a lot of need to clean it much more than that, depending on what you burn on it. If you live aboard your boat and you have your stove or fire on for long periods of time, all day, every day, especially over the really cold winter periods where people have them on 24 hours a day, it will need cleaning more often. But if you're a leisure boater like me and I only put the stove on when I'm here working, you don't need to clean it so often. So yeah, you're looking at a minimum of about once a year. I can't really see much need to clean it more than twice a year. So, Tim Jordan asks, well, it's more of a comment than a question. He says, dude, you need a stabiliser. Yes, I do. When I was shooting some of these videos, particularly the boat that got broken up and during the snow and all this sort of thing, I'm actually shaking because it's cold, because I'm shivering. So yes, the camera gets a bit shaky, my hands get cold. When you make these videos, you don't just pick your phone up and start talking. You have like 2 or 3 goes at it, because you fluff your words, or you drop something, or you trip over, or somebody in the background makes a noise or something like that. And your hands get cold and you get cold, and yeah, I get a bit shaky. I'm quite a shaky person anyway, and when I'm free holding the phone, yeah, I will shake. I'm going to try and use the tripod a bit more like I am now, and while I'm out boating, we'll see if we can do something to try and sort of ease the shakiness down. I don't know, something to look into anyway. Right, Ashley Dawson has asked, are we going to see the sound effects machine again? Well, no, not really. I mean, that sound effects machine, it was just a cheap gag. It was just a cheap thing. I just did it for a bit of fun, really. I don't really see much need to put it in any more videos. So, no, I don't think we'll be doing that again. Right, let's move on to your comments. I just want to say a big thank you to all the comments that have been coming in. They mean a lot to me. Now, if you ask questions and leave comments, I may not reply to all of them, but I do read them. So thank you very much for those, and it does help me. I sometimes fall into slumps where I find it difficult to get motivated, particularly if I'm not feeling good or I've had a tough week at work or whatever. So these comments really do help, and they keep me going, so do keep making comments. Right, and lastly, just a little thing about the stove fans. Now, I made the stove fan, and it gave people an idea that they might want to do it themselves. They decided that, yeah, I wouldn't mind making my own one, which is great. Do let us know how it goes if you do decide to make your own stove fan. And I've already had an idea for a Mark II stove fan, which I'll probably do next winter. No need for it at the moment. The one I've made so far is working really well. So, and it does make a difference. So I was very pleased with the way it turned out. Right, that's about it for this particular episode. In the next episode, not really sure what I'm going to be doing. Lots of work to do inside. Still putting all this trimming up, which is making a difference. It is changing the way the inside of the boat looks. The weather's picking up a bit, so there might be a bit more work outside, and I have still got loads and loads and loads left to do. The shower room is still not finished. I need to get back in there and just finish it off. It doesn't need that much work. There's quite a few hours involved in it, but it's not that difficult, though I have got to make a door for the shower room. I haven't done that yet. Not really sure exactly how I'm going to do that, but need to do it soon anyway. And that's about it as far as I can think. Right, so yeah, we'll carry on with what I'm doing, but in the meantime, take care, and I'll see you soon.